Dish Network, since rebranded simply as Dish as part of a major brand marketing overhaul in 2011 along with a slightly changed logo, is an American direct broadcast satellite service provider. The company provides satellite television, satellite internet, audio programming, and interactive television services to commercial and residential customers in the United States. As of November 2013, the company provided services to just over 14 million subscribers and has approximately 34,000 employees. The company is headquartered in Meridian, Colorado, though the postal designation of nearby Englewood is used in the corporate mailing address. In January 2008, Dish Network was spun off from EchoStar, its former parent company, which was founded by Charlie Ergen as a satellite television equipment distributor in 1980. The company began using Dish Network as its consumer brand in March 1996, after the successful launch of its first satellite, EchoStar I, in December 1995. That launch marked the beginning of its subscription television services, and EchoStar has since launched numerous satellites, with 9 owned and leased satellites in its fleet as of January 2013. EchoStar continues to be the primary technology partner to Dish Network. Joseph Clayton became president and chief executive officer of the company in June 2011, while Charlie Ergen remains chairman. Ergen has said diversifying and updating technology for the company will be a high priority, with an expectation that, over the coming decade, the company will provide internet, video, and telephone service for both home and mobile applications. Services: Dish's main service is satellite television. Its offerings are similar to other satellite and cable companies. Viewers can choose from a series of service bundles, paying more money for more channels. A la carte programming is available, however limited other than premium channels. The company is currently working on diversifying its offerings. With its purchase of Blockbuster Video, it now runs the Blockbuster stores and has used its intellectual property agreement to offer streaming and mail-order video services. Dish Anywhere is Dish's subscriber-only streaming video service, which includes HBO and Cinemax programming. In May 2012, the American Customer Satisfaction Index ranked Dish second among American television providers. Tailgater: Tailgater is a portable satellite antenna. The Tailgater is able to be purchased as a standalone device for $350, or can be purchased together with the only compatible receiver, a VIP211K, for $499. Customers only need pay for the period of time where the receiver is active on the Dish account. Monthly cost for a VIP211K is $7 per month. If the receiver is the only one on the account, there is no charge. It weighs 10 pounds, is protected from weather, and automatically searches for a signal. The only satellites that are currently compatible with the Tailgater are at Dish's 119, 110, and 129 orbital slots. Hopper: In March 2012, Dish began offering a digital video recorder called Dish Hopper that can automatically record primetime programming on the 4 major television networks. The DVR, which costs $12 per month, has 3 tuners and 2 terabytes of space, half of which can be used to record 500 hours of high-definition television or 2,000 hours of standard-definition television programs. The other half is for video on demand. A Hopper feature, called AutoHop, enables customers to view these programs without commercials, subject to time restrictions. AutoHop has attracted enthusiasts, critics, boycotts and legal action. At the 2013 Consumer Electronics Show, Dish won an award for their AutoHop feature on the Hopper. Hopper with Sling: At the 2013 Consumer Electronics Show, Dish announced the Hopper with Sling, an updated version of the Hopper with Sling box place-shifting technology built in, allowing the ability to watch live TV and DVR recordings online or through a free Dish Anywhere mobile app, and the ability to fling content from a mobile device onto the TV as well. A Hopper Transfers app for the iPad also allows recordings to be downloaded directly to the device for offline viewing, but has decided not to support the also popular Android devices for offline viewing, and a new Dish Explorer app also provides control of the Hopper along with integration with social networks to track trends and reactions to a program. The new Hopper also includes a 2 TB hard drive and a Broadcom BCM7425 CPU. Connect praised the Hopper with Sling for being cutting-edge technology that helps Dish make a strong case that its HD DVR is the most advanced out there. It subsequently nominated the new Hopper for the CES Best in Show award, and had won the award based off the original vote of Connect staff. However, Connect's parent company CBS Corporation vetoed the results, disqualified the device, and forced a re-vote because CBS was in active litigation with Dish. After complaints by critics, Connect was dropped as the organizer of the CES Awards program, and the Best in Show award was re-awarded to both the Hopper with Sling and the Razer Edge gaming tablet. Dish World. Also, in May 2012, Dish launched the service Dish World on the Roku streaming player. This broadband service provides international programming to subscribers of the Dish World service. Customers do not need to be a satellite or cable customer to subscribe. As of August 2013, Dish World subscribers are given access to 13 English-language stations. Most of the stations are news stations such as Bloomberg Television or RT. Other networks include Baby TV as well as 4 sports stations. Dish World is an example of Roku boxes being a replacement for larger set-top boxes. DishNet. On September 27, 2012, Dish Network announced a satellite broadband service called DishNet, aimed at rural areas, to be launched on October 1. History, founding and early growth. Dish Network officially began operations on March 4, 1996 as a service of EchoStar. EchoStar, a precursor to Dish Network, was formed in 1980 by its chairman and chief executive officer, Charlie Ergen, along with colleagues Candy Ergen and Jim DeFranco, as a distributor of C-band satellite television systems. In 1987, EchoStar applied for a direct broadcast satellite broadcast license with the Federal Communications Commission and was granted access to orbital slot 119° west longitude in 1992. On December 28, 1995, EchoStar successfully launched its first satellite, EchoStar I. With this and the completion of the construction of the satellite uplink center in Cheyenne, Wyoming, the Dish Network brand name was born to represent the home satellite TV service. In March 1996, the company made its first broadcast to customers. In 1998, EchoStar purchased the broadcasting assets of a satellite broadcasting joint venture of news corporations ASCII and MCI WorldCom. With this purchase, EchoStar obtained 28 of the 32 transponder licenses in the 110° west orbital slot, more than doubling existing continental United States broadcasting capacity at a value of $682.5 million. The acquisition inspired the company to introduce a multi-satellite system called Dish 500, theoretically capable of receiving more than 500 channels on one dish. In the same year, EchoStar, partnering with Bell Canada, launched Dish Network Canada. HD expansion. In January 1999, the company released the industry's first high-definition television tuner. In August 2003, the company launched EchoStar 9, the first satellite equipped with commercial Ka-band payload for broadband service over the United States. This led the company in 2004 to be the first satellite TV service to offer local channels to all 50 states. In that year, the company also introduced the nation's first interactive TV multiple picture-in-picture application for the Olympic Games, offering coverage from multiple channels at once. This year the company also acquired its 10 millionth customer. In January 2005, EchoStar bought the broadcasting assets of the troubled HD TV satellite provider Voom, including its Rainbow One satellite co-located with EchoStar 3 at 61.5° west. On April 29, EchoStar announced that it would expand its HD TV programming by adding the first 10 of 21 original Voom channels and mirror the channels on a CONUS slot. Dish Network added CNN HD in Spanish along with other packages in its Latino HD lineup. On January 1, 2008, the company completed its spin-off of its technology and set-top box business into a separate publicly traded company, EchoStar Corporation, effectively splitting the original EchoStar into two separate businesses. Dish Network Corporation, the larger of the two resulting companies, focuses on programming, service and marketing of satellite television, while EchoStar Corporation runs a majority of the satellite fleet and other signal infrastructure. While neither company has any ownership in the other, the majority of the voting power of the shares in both companies is owned by Charlie Ergen. Acquisitions and diversification. In 2011, Dish Network spent over $3 billion in acquisitions of companies in bankruptcy, which Motley Fool's Anders Bylund described as a veritable buying rampage in the bargain bin. This includes the April 6, 2011, purchase of Blockbuster Incorporated in a bankruptcy auction in New York, agreeing to pay $322 million in cash and assume $87 million in liabilities and other obligations for the nationwide video rental company. Dish Network also acquired the defunct companies DBSD and TerreStar. Dish Network also made a bid to purchase Hulu on October 2011, but Hulu's owners chose not to sell the company. There was also speculation that Dish Network might purchase Sprint Nextel or Clearwire. In 2013, Dish made a bid for both companies. CEO Charles Ergen plans on adding wireless internet and mobile video services that can compete with Netflix and cable companies. About the new markets, Ergen said, "Given the assets we've been accumulating, I don't think it's hard to see we're moving in a different direction from simply pay TV, which is a market that's becoming increasingly saturated." Dish Network put its Blockbuster acquisition to work by announcing Blockbuster Movie Pass, which allows on-demand movies, game and DVD rentals, and online streaming services for a flat monthly fee. Dish Network plans a similar service for non-Dish Network customers. As Blockbuster had agreements that allow it to receive DVDs 28 days earlier than Netflix, the new service could be major competition. Dish Network also plans on offering high-speed internet. The company plans a hybrid satellite terrestrial mobile broadband service. In 2011, it petitioned the FCC to combine the S-band spectrum it acquired from DBSD and TerreStar, and combine this spectrum with LTE. Unlike Light Squared, Dish's spectrum has minimal risk of disrupting global positioning systems. At the 2012 Consumer Electronics Show, Dish Network announced that they would be dropping the A-Euro-OE network A-Euro and going solely by Dish in their marketing. Dish Network's parent company will remain Dish Network. After changing the position of a satellite orbital position from being over Mexico to Brazil in 2011, Dish Network sought companies that could make a deal, among them Telefacube Nica. However, nothing ever came of this, and Dish decided to enter the country itself. According to the Brazilian Agency of Telecommunications, they await the authorization of the application. Technical information: satellite dishes. Dish Network offers different types of satellite receiving equipment for obtaining signals from its diverse satellite fleet. Most of their consumer boxes are manufactured by Sony SCI Corporation to EchoStar specifications. Prior to the December 2001 merger of SCI Systems and Sony, Dish Network receivers were produced at factories in Huntsville, Alabama and Fountain, Colorado. Currently, receiver assembly takes place in Guadalajara, Mexico and India. Earlier satellite dishes. Dish Network's first satellite antenna was simply called the Dish Network Dish. It was retroactively named the Dish 300, when legal and satellite problems forced delays of the forthcoming Dish 500 systems. It uses 1LNB to obtain signals from the 119° W orbital location, and was commonly used as a second dish to receive additional high-definition or ethnic programming from either the 148° W or 61.5° W orbital locations. The 119° W slot is one of two primary orbital locations, the other being 110° W, that provide core services. After EchoStar obtained the broadcasting assets of a failed joint venture between ASCII and MCI WorldCom, it had more than doubled its capacity by adding 28 transponders at the 110° W orbital location. Since EchoStar also owned the adjacent 119° W orbital location, it developed the Dish 500 to receive the signals of both orbital locations using one dish and an innovative dual L&B assembly. Although the new 20-inch Dish 500 was slightly larger than the then current 18-inch Dish 300 and direct dishes, it had the distinct advantage of obtaining signals from EchoStar's two adjacent satellite locations for a theoretical 500-channel capacity. The Dish 500, as a result, provided very large capacity for local interlocal service, nationwide programming, and business services. In order to migrate existing customers to Dish 500, Dish Network provides value-added channels in addition to local channels that can only be received with the Dish 500 and newer systems. Some of the channels exclusive to these newer systems are H2, Boomerang, Science, Planet Green, PBS Kids Sprout and Comedy Central. Higher capacity satellite dishes. In spite of all this capacity, EchoStar still needed to fulfill the dream of nationwide high-definition television and conceived the Dish 1000 system to receive signals from 110° W, 119° W, and 129° W orbital locations. Originally, Dish Network high-definition subscribers required two separate satellite dishes. Currently, Dish Network subscribers can receive nationwide HDTV channels using the 129° W orbital location or 61.5° W orbital location. Because of issues with low signal strength, the older model Dish 1000 has been replaced with the Dish 1000.2. The 1000.2 has a 10% larger reflector for better signal strength and an integrated LNB for easier installation. The Dish 1000.2 is 23 in diameter. Even with the larger size, there are still many reports of customers consistently losing signal on the 129° W orbital location. This has forced some customers to either use a second separate Dish Network brand dish, or an aftermarket 30 inches dish, aimed specifically at the 129° W orbital location. On several satellite-related web support forums, customers have critically suggested that the new Dish 1000.2 wasn't nearly large enough and should have been 30% larger to properly deal with rain fade. Later Dish Network took the approach of splitting the U.S. into two regions. Subscribers west of Chicago use Dish 1000.2 antennas aimed at the 110° W, 119° W, and 129° W orbital locations. Subscribers east of Chicago use Dish 1000.4 antennas aimed at the 61.5° W, 72° W and 77° W orbital locations. During Dish Network's quest for capacity, they had accumulated an array of satellite broadcasting technologies, orbital locations, and surplus capacity using non-mainstream technologies requiring larger dish sizes. To capitalize on these broadcasting assets, Dish Network started providing extensive ethnic programming from lower-powered satellites broadcasting in the non-DBS portion of the FSS band. Dish Network offers specialized equipment for these customers including larger dish antennas. The Super Dish, Dish 500 Plus, and Dish 1000 Plus systems receive DBS signals from both of the primary 110° W and 119° W locations as well as lower-powered FSS signals from either 121° W, 105° W, or 118.75° W. The Dish 500 Plus and 1000 Plus systems receive circularly polarized signals in the non-DBS portion of the FSS band, the only American satellite television service to do so. Broadcast technology. While for years Dish Network has used standard MPEG-2 for broadcasting, the addition of bandwidth-intensive HDTV in a limited bandwidth world has called for a change to an H264/MPEG-4 AVC system. Dish Network announced as of February 1, 2006, that all new HDTV channels would be available in H264 format only, while maintaining the current lineup as MPEG-2. Dish Network intends to eventually convert the entire platform to H264 in order to provide more channels to subscribers. In 2007, Dish Network reduced the resolution of 1080 line channels from 1920x1080 to 1440x1080. Reducing horizontal resolution and/or data rate of HD video is known as HD Lite and is practiced by other TV providers as well. Both a standard receiver and a receiver with built-in digital video recorder are available to subscribers. The Dish Network IP722 HD DVR, up to 55 hours of high-definition, replacement to the IP622 has received generally positive reviews from Connect and others. Both a standard receiver and a DVR are available to subscribers for an upgrade fee. Beginning in January 2010, Dish Network charges $7 as a DVR service fee, which covers cost of licensing EPG listings from Rovi Corporation, with the TV Guide logo displayed on listing screens to signify the partnership but affiliated from Tribune Media Services with Zap2it. Satellite fleet. Most of the satellites used by Dish Network are owned and operated by EchoStar. Since EchoStar frequently moves satellites among its mini-orbiting slots, this list may not be immediately accurate. Refer to LineZot and Dish Channel Chart for detailed satellite information. Criticisms and controversies. Management: Charlie Ergen, co-founder, chairman of the board; Joseph Clayton, president and chief executive officer; James DeFranco, co-founder, executive vice president, special advisor to the CEO; Michael Kelly, president, Blockbuster LLC; Eric Carlson, executive vice president, operations; Thomas A. Cullen, executive vice president, corporate development; Stanton Dodge, executive vice president, general counsel and secretary; Bernard L. Hahn, executive vice president and chief operating officer; Robert E. Olson, executive vice president and chief financial officer; Dave Shull, executive president, chief commercial officer; Amir Ahmed, senior vice president, sales; Vivek Khemka, senior vice president, product management; Mike McClaskey, executive vice president, human resources; John Swearinger, senior vice president and chief information officer; James Muirhead, senior vice president and chief marketing officer; Brian Nailon, senior vice president, sales planning, administration and direct sales; Warren Schleiting, senior vice president, ad sales. See also: Dishmar copyright Zico, Bell TV, formerly Dish Network Canada, Dish HD Asia, serving China and Taiwan. List of United States cable and satellite television networks. Wikibooks, VIP 922/Dish Network, Fox Broadcasting Company v. Dish Network, LLC. References. External links. Official website, Dish Latino, Dish Network Mexico.